Good afternoon, it's Josh here. I just wanted to give you guys a bit of our update and a little bit of a project because we are going to have a little bit of a treat tonight. It's a rainy, gross day, so we're not getting a whole lot of yard stuff done, but I did a little bit more goat fencing and got to do brakes on Jaden's truck and a few other things. But anyways, I thought because we were doing some landscaping here, but we have our what we call a Redneck Hot tub. So we have a wood firebox in the back there, and then I built the frame to kind of hold the firebox in. I gotta fix it a little bit because I just put some roofing screws into the end of the 2x4s, and as you can see, that didn't hold once we had full of water, and then once we got 4 people in there, because Jaden, myself, and both the kids fit in there nicely, but once it was full of water and the kids were playing, it pulled out on both sides. So I'm gonna reattach that, and then I think I'm going to put another little chunk of 2x4 on the back, and then another second screw in there, just so that we're not relying just on the end grain, and then we can actually have some grain of the wood biting onto that screw, and then we'll have 2 screws on the top and then 1 on the bottom. But I just didn't want them leaking, so it's a salvaged roofing screw, so I just put a little dab of silicone inside them. But anyways, firebox was it was a wedding present from my aunt. It came all the way from Ontario, and I'm very appreciative and thankful for it. And then the trough we got at a farm auction. We originally got it for the cows, and then we ended up selling the cows before we even got a chance to use it. So we repurposed it to a hot tub. So me and the kids, we're going to give that we're just going to touch up that firebox, get it going. We're going to refill it with water and get the fire started on it, because it takes about 4 to 5 hours to heat up all that water. So we are going to get that going, and hopefully we're going to have a bit of a hot tub party, just because I go to work here in the coming days. So we're going to try to utilize this hot tub as much as possible. So we are on round 2, I guess. We just had a quick break in the house, but I'll show you what I got. I squared everything up, so I added that extra little bit there, screwed it into the front, and then I put a second roofing screw there. So now, hopefully, when we fill it full of water and we get moving around, it's not just gonna pull everything out. It's actually a little bit more secure. I did that on both sides. So I'm just giving the silicone a bit of a chance to set. And then another plan that we got for here is I want to take out the drain plug and actually find a ball valve to put in there. But I want to get it so it goes through to 90 to the bottom, because even with it open, we still got an inch of water there. So I want to put a little 90 in there and a ball valve, so it'll actually siphon down till like a 1/4 inch from the bottom, because it collects, even when we open it up and drain water, it collects a bunch of poplar fluff and everything else here over the last couple of days. And then we gotta level it a little bit, because it's settled a little bit on this one corner by the step, so we're just gonna have to re-level it. But for now, we're going to just fill it up and run it as it is, and then as time permits, we'll probably leave it this summer and just let it settle as much as it will, and then we'll drain it, pull it up, and re-level it before winter comes, because we have plans on using it throughout the winter as well. But yeah, so I'm going to grab the hose and turn the water on, and we're going to start filling her. There, we got the hose in, and it is filling. It is 5 o'clock, so we're just going to let it fill. I like to wait till it is water levels at least to the top, the firebox there, before I even think about starting a fire. So I'm gonna gather up some more firewood, because out in our pasture, when we first moved out, there was probably a 1/4 acre of little poplar saplings like that. And then we turned 60 cows out and they decimated most of them. So there's a whole bunch of dead poplar, little tree sapling, yeah, like saplings that are all down in there, about 2-inch diameter kind of thing. So I'm gonna go through into the goat pasture. We are going to gather up a whole bunch of wood, and then I grabbed just our cordless circular saw and I cut them into nice sizes. I don't believe Jaden's done an update video anyways, but I know she's mentioned that we've got the goats out on pasture now. So we fenced off, we built this whole pen here for them. And then we got the woven wire, 4-foot woven wire along there. And then I went this morning because Tiny kept wandering out, so he pushes on the bottom of the fence between the pickets, and he's able to just lift the woven wire up enough to squeeze out. So wherever he can get out, the goats can get out. And then we were having issues on the back side where the horses and the llama can get to. They're pushing the top of the wire down, trying to reach the grass on the inside. So I went and this morning I put a barbed wire at the top, and then it's kind of hard to see, but there's I ran a second barbed wire about 5 inches off the ground on the bottom, and then that's at least stopping Tiny from pushing out on the bottom, and then it's going to stop the horses from reaching in over top. And then the goats are the 5 of them out here, they haven't even made a dent on this grass, so we're very excited for that. They'll probably stay out here all summer. We have plans on probably on my next days off, probably off of that center picket there in between the 2 gates, and we're gonna divide the pasture into 2, and then off the brace there for that gate, we're gonna divide the north side into 2 pens again. So we'll have 3 pastures here that we'll be able to rotate the goats through, and then yeah, and then we're gonna start collecting more of that woven wire, and then we're gonna expand and do another pen, and because we're gonna be looking at getting some more goats here if we want to get to where we want to be. But for now, we're because it's a rainy, gloomy day, we're just going to get the hot tub going and just relax. Jaden's doing a house day, and then I'll get the tub here full, the fire going, and then I'm going to retreat to the garage and work on the Ford and just kind of tinker away, try to be in out of the rain and the mist as much as possible. And I'll give you guys an update on this tub as we go along. Here you see me bring over a water tank, and I was just going to do my first round of patchwork and sealing. We were given this tank by a friend of ours to see if we can't make a trough out of it or something. It got left over winter with water in it, and it's got a bit of a split down the side of it. So I'm doing my first layer of sealant, and then I'll do another layer of rubber afterwards, and we'll get that sealed up and try to get it as a rainwater storage for the barn. So it's about 20 after 6 now. So it took about an hour to fill this trough, and we got the fire going. I was gonna say, and you can see it's going good. There's a lot of little bubbles forming on the side of the firebox, so you know it's getting good and hot. And you can see with all the poplar fluff in there, it's actually starting to circulate. So the hot water is moving away from the stove, and the cool water is moving in, and it's working quite well. And then we got our fire going with our built-in dampener, so we can shut the firebox right off, or open it up, and then we can get it a full fire down in there. But with this poplar, we find it works if you have about a 1/2-inch gap there. We don't want to get the firebox too hot, that aluminum too hot. Be ideal if we had a deeper trough, a deeper tub, so we could you could see where the old water lines used to be. It'd be nice if we could get a little bit more firebox into the water, and it's not as big of a deal. But then we don't want to warp the firebox too much and end up the seams cracking or anything like that, right? So, and as you can see, it's we've used it about 3 times already, and it's already starting to settle and lean to the one side. But we are we'll see how much it settles, and then we're probably gonna empty it, jack it up, or move it, re-level, add some more wood chips into that corner, and then do it again, do it a couple times until we get it where we want it. And then it's not ideal, but we just had a low spot in our yard that we filled in with wood chips, so we know it's going to settle, and over the years it's going to settle as well. So it's not ideal, but we got a whole bunch of wood chips from Fortis, Alberta, when they come through and they trim all the trees along the power lines. They're always looking for a place to dump wood chips, and we offered our place, and they come in usually about twice a year, and they drop off a couple truckloads of wood chips. So we have wood chips everywhere, and we just keep using them. So they keep dropping it off, and we'll keep using them, and we got a good deal going with them. They're happy. They'll even drive quite a few miles to come here to drop it off, because there's a lot of people that don't want wood chips. So we caught them when they were trimming the power lines just outside of our house, and we offered for them to drop it off here, and they've been and we told them that there's no sense dropping off wood chips. So if they're in the area, they come by and they drop them off. Like I said, they usually come by twice a year and drop off 3 or 4 truckloads. So that's our hot tub. So it's 6 o'clock, so we're going to be looking at probably 9 o'clock at the earliest. That will the hot tub will be hot and ready to go, but we'll keep the fire stoked, and yeah, we're going to be soaking in the hot tub tonight.